is this development of the menu of services, because it takes a lot of the guesswork out of the conversations that we're having, especially when they creep into that sales division. So can you talk to us about the importance of this document in the business, what it looks like, and then we can go into some of the details and show some examples of it?
Sure. So just taking your mind back to how I started, and I started by saying that you've got to manage, you're managing the client's expectation. You want to manage them down this I always refer to it as a pipeline. The water has to come down this pipe, and there can't be any blockages down the bottom, down along the pathway, because if there's blockages, the water comes back and hits you. And if you can free up this pipeline, so the water's freely flowing through this pipeline and comes out the other side as being a happy client and a profitable business and happy staff, because staff want structure. They want to know how to do something, and and they want leadership from you to show them how to do this. And otherwise, if you just said to them, go and do it, they need you to lead. And so so when you increase the level of traffic that's coming through, then it puts a lot of pressure on all your systems. So it starts off with the Q&A, as I said. So most of the questions are similar in nature, and a lot of it's just educational. And they want to be educated because, often the government, when they release things, it's written by a lawyer, and it's very, very difficult to understand it. So they want you to put it in layman's terms. So your Q&A should be in layman's terms, not just a copy of the stimulus package from the government, but you need to do it in such a way that it's in layman's terms so they understand. So you can use that. That's the first thing you should do. The second thing then is to once all the commonly asked questions are handled, then the questions are more specifically to themselves as individuals, individual clients, individual businesses, and so forth. And then there's a certain amount of selling in that process. And then, as I said, you want to be able to go from that selling process to the product process and being able to sell the product in as little time as possible and in as efficiently as possible. And so we've developed a menu of services. And so the first 10 minutes, 10, 15 minutes could be just talking to the client and identifying what they need. And you can see that there's a simple one. You can see across to the right-hand side, there's a simple and there's complex. So if it's a really simple client, the client, that they'll need, under the first column, COVID-19, they might need, the JobKeeper implementation, they might need government-backed loans, and they might need something else. So you can then just go, and within 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you can identify what they need, and you just say to them, look, I think you need this one, and this one. And then they might ask you a few questions about it, and you said, yep, and they go, okay, let's do it. And then you put an order in for those 3 products. So you're minimizing the conversation and getting down to the business of selling them the product. And then now, obviously, sometimes the client is very complex, and you can't do it in 10 minutes because they might have 50, 60 employees, and it's going to take a good hour, an hour and a half. And Brenton, can I get you to scroll it down a little bit? So you may sorry, the other way. So you see there is a discovery session. So if it's going to take more than 10 minutes or 15 minutes, then you simply convince them to come in or do a Skype or a Zoom call with you, and to spend the proper time in going through a consultancy or a discovery session. And the simple ones, you might put a price of $150 or $180 to it. And a complex one, you might put a price of $300 or $400, because it might take you an hour or 2 hours to do this. So you can then move them from a general kind of a phone conversation, sales conversation, to a product of, spending the proper time to work out what they actually need. And then, of course, in that session, then you would then identify what kind of products that they need. And there's a price for a simple one and a price for a complex one. And we've left that blank because each firm has their own pricing, and depending on whether you're in Townsville or whether you're in Middle Sydney, will change what you price out to the client. So it's something for you to fill in.
Absolutely.
So that simplifies it. So these are just examples, by the way, guys. You can put your own in, you can take ones out, you can massage it here and there, but instead of starting with a blank sheet of paper, here's something that you can work off and build on. And it's not something that's locked in concrete. Obviously, it's very flexible. It's up to you to massage it around to what suits your particular practice.